Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go. Today I want to talk to you about intensity. I feel like as heart-centered women, actually women in general, living in a patriarchal culture, so much of what our role has been made to be is absorb work physically, emotionally, mentally, and take it in on the inside, but make it look really easy on the outside and make things look effortless, but on the inside, things are a ton of effort. And I've been thinking about this because of an experience I had on the way back from traveling from Madrid. And I wanted to share it with you because I had a rather intense experience on the way home. And it was this reminder, and honestly, I'm good at intensity. Heart-centered women are good at intensity. We're good at caring a lot, doing a lot, overperforming, overworking. And I used to live, really, I would say from like my college years up through for like a decade, like in all of my 20s and my early years of marriage and motherhood, I really lived in intensity and overperformance. And now that I don't live in that, when certain moments in life call for me to go back into intensity, my body remembers. I'm like, oh my God, I used to live in this all the time. And I just feel like this isn't talked about enough. And so I wanted to share that experience and just talk through it because I feel that in business, we go from working corporate jobs. I worked my corporate therapy job and then I transitioned into my business, and I had to be so conscious about not bringing in my habits from corporate life into my business, right? I really had to work hard to work 3 days a week. Really, I think working 3 days a week should be more natural to us than working 5, 6, 7 days a week. In Spain, I just really noticed how much the culture was working what I would call as an American very inefficiently. But as a Spaniard, it probably was just normal and not burning out their nervous system, right? When we went in through security and got our passport stamped, like the guards were like talking to each other, and they weren't even like, they took like a few minutes to like acknowledge me standing there. And then they were taking their time. And this is really interesting because I'm someone that values productivity, and we went to the public pool. Our last day, one of my favorite days was our last day. We went to just the community public pool, and we spent almost all day just hanging out at the pool, eating snacks, picnic lunch, chatting with other families, Spanish families. And it was just so nice. But getting in, I had already pre-purchased our tickets, but like I was standing in line, one of the computers was broken, and all the Spaniards in line behind me were like not fazed by this taking forever. And then eventually I realized like, I don't even think I'm in the right section. So I asked, and they were like, oh yeah, you can just go on by. You don't even have to wait in this line. But it's just like, I've heard for families moving to Spain that it's just the paperwork is wild, right? I shared the story that I was sitting with a woman on a train from Spain, and she shared that she commuted every weekend to Madrid through 3 hours on train just because she was working to get a higher up government job, and it just would probably take years of her commuting to do that. And it's just interesting, right? So that's the downside. The upside is that life is valued so much more than work. Like, it is just normal to spend 3 or 4 hours eating dinner. Like, it's normal to want, as we're walking on the sidewalk, like there's so many people that just stop in the middle of the sidewalk and like have a huge conversation. Just so interesting. Anyway, I digress. So much of what I enjoyed about Spanish culture was a lack of intensity, right? A lack of urgency, a lack of rushing. And of course, like every culture and every country is going to have upsides and downsides, right? Like downside to Spanish culture is it's less efficient and productive, right? Upside is that you're enjoying your life and not burning out. Sounds kind of nice to me, okay? And it was just really interesting. I found myself, I did a little bit of work. I coached for 2 days out of the month that I was there. But otherwise, I didn't work very much. And I thought that it would be kind of hard for me not to work that month. I even brought some like embroidery, gem painting with me and stuff. And I didn't really do any of it. Like I just found myself in the evening, like either, I don't even know, what did I do? Feel like we would hang out for a long time as a family and then I would go to bed. And it was just really interesting how easy it was not to work. I know that I was on vacation too, but so that's part of it, but it's just really interesting. I think when the energy of a culture is non-working, then it makes you feel weird to work, right? Like all of the coffee shops here in the States, like they have tables for working and people are working on their laptop. None of the coffee shops, even Starbucks, have tables for working. They're all tiny little tables and they even serve you your drink for there. Like even when we went to Starbucks, they served us our drink in like a glass tumbler to sit and drink there. And so it would be weird if you were working, you know? And so it was just really an interesting culture shift for me of the lack of intensity and performance. Anyway, the reason I was thinking about this and the thing that I would like 99% of our trip was incredible. But of course, there was parts that were challenging. And on the way back, I got food poisoning in the airport, which is just wild because everything is so safe feeling in Spain. Like we were in the metro at like 11 p.m. and I'm someone that's like pretty safety aware, but like we were like out and like, it's just very like kids are out playing at midnight. Like it's very safe culture or safe city. So I wasn't even really thinking about anything. And so even tap water tastes amazing there. Here in San Diego, I like buy filtered water. We go to the water store and I fill up my jugs because I don't like the taste of the chlorinated water. But anyway, I just totally let my guard down. And so anyway, something I ate at the airport immediately didn't sit well with me. And 20 minutes in, I was like shaking, weak, like had a hard time standing up. I was like in the bathroom having issues like 5 times in a row. And I seriously did not want to get on the plane. I told my kids, I think we need to like go back to Madrid and stay another day because I'm not feeling well. And of course they were like, I think we just want to go home. So I'm like, okay. And I pull it together. Anyway, managed to get on the plane. And thank goodness my seat was by the bathroom because I was in there like 10 more times in the next hour. People probably thought I was crazy, but I knew it was food poisoning and I knew it wasn't a flu. So I think that's what I knew. I wasn't going to like pass anything to anyone. But it was honestly one of the more intense experiences I've had in my life. I got food poisoning when I was in Mexico City. I feel it was awful, but I don't feel like it was even that intense. My sweet friend Ariana was like holding my hair back so I could like puke in the toilet. But I think maybe because she was there with me, and I think also because it happened at night versus this was like in the airport, and I'm having to like anyway, I'll tell you the rest of the story in a second. So anyway, actually, let me do this part and then I'll go backwards. So when it was in the intense part, like I started feeling better, fortunately, by our layover. But even so, I was still feeling weak and having to like navigate security and stuff. But anyway, when it was the most intense, the first 2 hours on the plane where I was like, is this going to get better? Is this going to get worse? I put on a really intense movie. And this is one of my tricks I would say like I'm an expert I have a very high pain tolerance and I'm very resilient. And I don't say that to brag. I feel sad that I have to be that way, that I've used my like strength and resilience to my advantage. And I feel like I've been really tough in business and through like failure and rejection. But I feel that I don't wish this on my daughter. I hope that she isn't resilient. I hope she's soft. No, and you know what I mean. But anyway, I put on this. Normally, I don't watch scary movies at all. Like, I don't even watch like lightly scary movies. Like, I don't even like watching movies with sad endings, you guys. I am a real snowflake, I feel like, when it comes to like media. I don't watch, I don't listen to like murder podcasts. I don't read scary book. Like I don't do any of it. I never have. Name a scary movie, I haven't seen it. But something I do when I'm feeling really bad, so I don't even want to say the name of the movie because I'm super embarrassed in some ways, but I put on the most intense movie that like popped up on the screen when we were on the airplane. And I just watched this movie and one more movie for 2 hours. And it totally helped just like numb me out, because I was feeling completely awful. Like I could not even tell you how awful I was feeling, but I got through it, right? And fortunately, like for the other, we did a 6-hour flight and a 7-hour flight. Fortunately for the rest of the 6-hour flight, I was feeling much better. And then I was feeling, by the time we landed, I was feeling like 100%. It was so weird. I texted one of my friends how awful I was feeling, and she checked on me like first thing the next morning. And I was like, actually, I'm feeling 100% better. Just weird how much food poisoning you can go from like 0 to 100. But anyway, it reminded me of right after my divorce, I started doing bar classes every day. I still love bar. I still do bar, but I do it like twice a week now. I didn't work out very much at all when I was in Spain, but that's another story for another day. I thought I was going to. I went to 2 different bar studios, so we ended up walking so much, you guys. I did not know, you probably already knew this, how much walking there is in Europe. We were walking in between 15 and 25 miles without even meaning to. I didn't even notice this till I checked my phone, and I'm like, why are my calves aching? Oh my God. But anyway, when I was in my divorce, I would do bar classes with the most intense instructor in my studio for an hour every single day. And just because I was experiencing so much intensity in my life, that intensity in the bar classes really helped get me through it. It really helped in the biggest way. And when I was reflecting on getting through that intense plane ride and watching that movie and remembering, oh, I kind of did that same thing when I was in my divorce. And also there was a time a few years ago where I was having a little bit of a midlife existential crisis when I was releasing some of my religious beliefs and all sorts of things, where I kind of also was like mentally struggling. And I also did that thing where I watched really scary movies. And what I want to say is it's okay to use intensity to get through crisis in our life. But we can't live that way. And I think I remember right before I decided to get divorced, I remember right before I decided to quit my job, especially decided to quit my job. Like I remembered being like, I can't function this way. Like I've gotten used to intensity. I've gotten used to, in my corporate life, like things were just really stressful all the time. In my marriage, things were stressful all the time. And I just really acclimated to it. And we don't do that. And I think it's almost like you can't see the forest from the trees until you're out of it. But I just wanted to share this podcast because I think some of you guys are in certain seasons of intensity in certain areas of your life. And it's time to say no more. It's time to say enough. It's time to say, oh, just because I can doesn't mean I should, more than once every 4 years. Yeah, once every 4 years, something is going to come up. A loved one is going to get sick. You're going to get food poisoning on an airplane. Like, great. Use your coping skill and be so proud of that. Yay, yay. But guess what? There's nothing to be proud of if you're struggling and surviving everyday life. It's not something to be proud of, right? It's something to say, what part of me believes that I am unworthy of a peaceful life? And I just wanted to bring this up because I feel like the plane reminded me I really used to live in intensity. And whether maybe for you, maybe you numb out. Maybe it's just like other things that you do, scrolling, alcohol, who knows what, right? But I'm not saying this to be hard on yourself. I'm just saying, for me, when I first let myself in the last decade drop into peace, it didn't feel comfortable and it felt weird. When I went from working 5 days a week to working 3 days a week, it was not easy. It was actually very intense. And I kind of like overthought it and felt guilty and was very judgmental of other women that I saw in Pilates on Friday morning, even though I was the girl in Pilates on Friday morning, right? Like, it takes a lot of conditioning, and some women go their entire life. I would say more than half of women especially married women, because I feel like marriage is an institution of the patriarchy that has really not set women up for peace. It set them up for overwork and codependency. And I really feel that many women go their whole life without truly feeling peace and happiness. And I've told you, right? Like, if you would ask me 10 years ago, like, are you happy and at peace? I'd be like, yeah. And I was, but way more peace and way more happiness and way more abundance was in store for me. And I know some of you listening to this know this. You might feel like, yes, I have money. Yes, I have happiness. Yes, I have peace. Yes, I'm grateful because like Anna, I'm really good at like putting a sunny side on things and surviving and making it through. But if I were to get really honest with myself, I know that there's a new level of peace, stability, happiness, wealth for me. And I'm not selfish to want more. Yes, maybe all of my friends and my peers are in the same struggle bus boat I am, but it doesn't mean that I can't get out. It doesn't mean that what feels like my ceiling isn't my floor. It doesn't mean that there's something new ahead for me. And even though I'm acclimated to intensity, it doesn't mean it's healthy. I know for me, that is when I really started feeling like a lot of symptoms in my body, right? And our body does not lie to us. Our body does not lie, right? I feel like we need to, I wish something that I would have been taught earlier was like to listen to my body, to pay attention. And even though you might feel like I can do this intensity, I can, what it would cost me to let go of the intensity would be more intense than just maintaining this intensity. And maybe this is with a team member that you need to let go. Maybe this is with a niche that you've outgrown. Maybe this is with a social media platform you need to let go of. Maybe this is with a client, a coach. I don't know. I don't care, right? But I know that the hard thing is when we're in intensity, in order to get out of intensity, we need to sign up for a little more intensity momentarily to get out, right? And risk and uncertainty and unknown. And sometimes it's like the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. And I just think we need to be so willing as women to make risks and to experience intensity if it means we're going to get out of the intensity, right? It means we need to endure, like right now I'm switching project management softwares, right? And it's a pain in the booty to get out of it. But I was feeling with my old project management software that I've had for 10 years, I was starting to feel like low grade intensity. It was no longer an energetic match for me. And so, yes, it is more intense to be switching platforms and softwares because guess what? I'm not a systems and tech girl. But guess what? It's short term. I think we need to be more willing to endure short-term intensity and way less willing to endure, actually not willing at all, to endure long-term intensity. Let me say that again. We need to be way more willing to endure short-term intensity and not willing at all to experience long-form, long-term intensity. And I think when we are in low-term, long-term intensity, right, we don't feel at capacity to handle short-term intensity. And I think that's what keeps women stuck, right, is we're in this low-grade, over-functioning burnout at the brim, no extra margin, no extra capacity. So we don't have room to be brave for 2 months, right? We don't have margin to be brave, to make changes for a weekend. And that's the interesting thing, I think, is we go through the spectrum of like, okay, I'm going to like kind of numb out, or I'm going to go all in and like basically burn myself out. And I think the secret here is how do we show up day to day in a life that is boring? And how are we willing to short term take risks that are scary and vulnerable? Both of those. Let me say that again. So on the day to day, I call this my happy, boring dream life, right? Like having a life that's pretty boring, that doesn't have drama, where you have extra margin in your week, where you have extra money in the bank. Margin can feel really unsafe if you've been used to living on the edge all the time, right? It can feel very boring. But peace, it's good to be bored. It's good to be peaceful. It's good for your business to be making a lot of money and be very boring and peaceful and unexciting. And the willingness on occasion to endure short-term courage, discomfort, risk, failure, launching a new product. Maybe no one buys the first time. Maybe you tweak the message and people buy the second time. Maybe you're creating a new Substack and at first no one signs up and it's kind of disappointing, right? Like, we need margin for the short-term courage, right? For the change that it takes to get out of something, right? That short-term intensity with purpose. Use your coping skills for that. I guess actually now that I'm talking to you girls, I guess in hindsight, when I was doing the bar class after my divorce, it was that I was like using it to get through the divorce. So I guess that was fine. And I guess the movie too is a good example of that, right? But you know what I mean, right? Like what are we just because you're smart and you're resilient and you're persistent and you can endure a lot and you can hold a lot doesn't mean you should be using it day to day. You should be using it once in a blue moon for crises or change or risk or a big goal, right? Or something that you really want. Where are we using our courage for? That's a great question. Okay, this is already 20 minutes, so I need to wrap this up because I try to keep these episodes at 20 minutes because I know that you ladies are busy, but I have so much more to share from Spain, my insights there. And I just wanted to share this one while it was recent because I just got off the plane a week ago. But I have so much to share about my thoughts and my insights from beautiful Spain. And I'm so grateful for that country, for allowing me to visit. We got to stay in an Airbnb that overlook the city, and I will forever hold those memories in my heart of looking over our balcony and drinking wine and being able to make dinner together as a family. And it was truly way more than I thought it would be. It was truly a once in a lifetime experience. I'm so grateful for it. Okay. Sending you a big hug. I know today was a little bit more of a tough love, but I know that it's always said with so much love, so much affection, so much care, and because I want the best for you, and because I know that you're meant for great things in the world, and I know that's only going to happen if you protect yourself, take care of your energy, and keep yourself out of intensity all the time. Okay, sending a hug. Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart-Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free, and I cannot wait to see you in there.